Folks, Gorilla Nerd Fair is we're live with another episode of Gorilla Nerd Fair. I forgot to turn off my little button, turn them on with great effect. And so you missed all the beautiful artwork and the faces that they were. But there we go. I did it anyway. I missed it. I totally missed it. So look at that. Dia's got a nice little name. I've got a nice little name. Cat needs to sit the fuck down and be like, Warlock has a lovely little name. My name's the Ford Nobleman, Steve Nobles. Welcome to another live episode of Gorilla Nerd Fair, where we don't do over.
No,
and my
we
co-host,
don't. We always do it live. I'm Adam, T-Laws Warlock.
Hey, it's me, Dia, not Diego.
Diego, not
Yeah.
yeah. It still says Fortnite. Thank you, Stuart. Yes, it does. That's what
This is Fortnite. This is this Fortnite special event.
This is
all
a Fortnite special event.
All Fortnite.
It is all about Fortnite. Thank you very much for that. We're going to change that on the fly because again we're live, and that's how we do it.
Yeah, we're doing it live.
Gorilla Nerd Fair. Yes, okay. And last but not least, one more. And we're going to do this short. Yeah, that probably would have been good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
It's gonna be pretty casual tonight, guys. And I chew gum, but I'm all out of gum.
I know how I feel about this.
It's all gone now. All gone. All better. Y'all saw nothing.
Oh man, you're still doing every sub is 3 packies? Nice.
I'm still doing the every sub is 3 packies. I got a 25 sub goal to hit. I'm trying to surpass Stuart, and Stuart's already at 19 to my 50.
Oh geez.
I know. He's had a couple of anonymous donators come in and donate 5 subs 2 different nights. And it's crazy. I told that guy to stop doing it. Did it again anyway.
Let me ask Stuart, what is Stuart doing? So what's his shtick? What's his spiel? What's his gimmick?
He is a recently retired member of the U.S. Army. He just retired.
Okay.
This is his first day of retirement. He just wrapped up his stream a short while ago. He was playing Shadows of the Empire. And great guy. He's from, he I don't know where he hails from, but he lives.
I was about to say, don't dox him.
Yeah, he lives in a great state where they don't pay much. No. That's next door. The state. Anyway, he'll tell you. It'll be here in chat if he wants to share that information or not.
I guess what I meant is, so I recognize this good guy, right? Obviously, sub, but you have a shtick. You have a thing. You have a couple things that you do, right?
Oh,
so you eat the Pockies. What's he do?
He makes me eat the Pockies. And then there's a counter challenge on his channel for the every time that he makes me eat Packies, someone can play a challenge on his that makes him eat double Packies he makes me eat.
Oh, so you guys are both eating Packies.
We're both eating Packies. He also has some very spicy jelly beans. Yes, very spicy jelly beans. He's actually good. Thanks to that first 15 subs that he got in the first night that he put the challenge. He now has to have an entire stream where he gets to eat a whole bag of the chips. Not in 5 minutes like you. No one will ever be able to replicate.
Nope.
I dare you to try.
I don't know if that's good for anyone's health either.
It's not good. I mean, he has said the very next podcast that his digestion.
Yeah. I'll double down on the challenge, man.
And okay. Boy. So, we're rather light on content, which is why Stuart is featured content in our podcast. Other than that, it's been a busy week, hasn't
it? Yes. Tell me about it.
I'm
Guys,
I'm trying. I'm pulling up the stuff now.
I was about to
well, I
say,
just want to say I was able to snag 2 PS5s between this show and last show.
And
oh,
how
So
good
that's
lord.
something.
how many video cards were you able to get?
Oh God.
Oh, too many. He is a broker
Just-
for this stuff. If you guys
I-
you're interconnected for PS5 video cards, and Xbox One, Series X, yeah. Hit up Diego Nadia. He will do it at a reasonable markup of
Actually, no markup. I have not made a single dime.
dangerous game here.
That's fine. Well, but let me well, one, I don't want it. Two, this is not something that I do regularly. It's just something that I do for people that I know and care about. And if someone is in chat and they hit me up and ask me about it, it's a 50-50 because right now I got like 6 people on the list. And I've had people pay or try to pay me to get on the top of the list. And that's not going to work either. But I do it solely to spite the scalpers. Just I don't like to see them make a buck. So I'm going to do what I can to make sure that it doesn't happen. So yeah, it's it's rough, but I got two. I have a couple sitting in my living room right now, so I'm ready. I'm ready to get rid of these bad boys.
It's almost like you got a big bonus. I mean, are you part of the Cyberpunk 2077 EO team there? Get a nice check in the mail for those sales bonuses for Cyberpunk 2077.
Tell us what happened. What they make? Did you?
Oh, you
see
tell
what
me.
the bonus
Apparently, you're
was?
Mr. Moneybags. You can turn around and buy multiple PS5s and all this stuff. Do you work for CD Projekt Red? Did we not know that?
Okay, one, it's America. Get a fucking credit card, all right? Are you an American if you don't have several lines of credit, some of them dubious at best, that you're not going to be able to pay with extremely high interest rates? Are you even an American citizen?
I'm 10 years past all that. I have already had those debts that have come full circle. I can no longer get it. I am paying for life.
Well, then there you so you know.
How do I
There you
get
go.
the Xbox One? You know,
I paid for my entire or half of my Disney trip plus the flights solely in credit card points.
Yeah.
If you want to know what I get out of buying all of these things,
Points.
it's just putting it on the credit card and getting points.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone pays me back anyway. So, and there's Rachel. Hi, Rachel. I just saw this. Rachel's going to Disney with me. That's cool.
Rachel.
Hey, Rachel.
Oh, that's the +1 for the Eric ticket.
Yeah, she got the Eric tickets.
Nice.
It was her birthday.
That man sacrificed everything his butthole had.
Yes, he did.
I want you to appreciate that. Go back and watch the video episode. Dia ate an entire bag of packing in less than 5 minutes. His butthole has suffered for your benefit.
She actually got my other bag of packages that I bought. Yeah, no, I know. Trust me, I know.
Oh,
it's good that thing they taste good.
So the Cyberpunk 2077 boss, T levels, the big
Let's hear it.
CEOs
Let's hear it.
got their big multi-million-dollar. I don't even know what the exact amount was. I'm actually pulling up the story.
Oh, I'm sure it's a lot considering how well that sold.
Right. Well, how well did it sell?
Hi, Aurora.
Oh no, I know it sold well because it got pre-ordered out the wazoo. But
It did. So 20% of annual earnings go towards the profit sharing. 10% going to the board of directors. 10% going to all. Bloomberg reports so 0.8 million to be split with average. Though not employees, some employees take other 10%, not the 8 billion split on 5 Project Red. The co-CEOs are each getting 6.3 billion. That's Adam Kaczynski, Marcin Inkosi. That is insane. Man, that's a ridiculous amount.
The question is, do we believe they deserve it?
I personally don't.
Well, how much do they how much do they make normally? Because if they're making millions a year, throwing more millions on top of that, it just perpetuates the richiness.
I know what it is. It's probably my filter. So is this better? You guys hearing me a little better now?
And for those of you who are listening in audio, we're just ironing out some audio kinks right now.
Mm-hmm.
I iron out audio kinks every single week. I should have a nice looking shirt by now, but I just got a shirt with burnt holes in it.
Yep. Well, actually,
ironing.
All these kinks, man. You got quite the collection.
You guys are just such fucking dads.
You keep shaming me.
It hurts me.
Why are you shaming me?
It hurts me. It hurts me.
Well, you're a kitty dad.
Yeah, but I don't fucking tell them kitty jokes.
Well, why not?
I just, put my mouth around their noses and say, "I'm gonna eat you. I'm gonna eat you."
I thought you put your mouth around the noses in blue, like.
No, that's one step too far.
Clean out their kitty things.
It's definitely loud and clear. Is that good or bad? Am I too loud?
No, you're just Dia, man. You have a very, very specific tone.
No. What does that mean?
What? No, don't worry about it. It's fine.
No. Am I too loud?
No.
I can always lower it.
Very distinct tone. You're heard in a crowd. I can hear you in a crowd.
Why would you bold? Definitely.
No, not too loud. He's very self-conscious about it now. You can see that attacked his self-esteem ever so slightly. You dinged his armor.
I'm done.
His armor is dinged.
I'm off the cast. That's it. I'm out.
Oh, here we go.
Goodbye. I'm flying back to the Middle East tonight on my carpet. Thank you.
So Gorilla Nerd Affair is in need of a third co-host. If you'd like to apply, please email out s.nobles@gmail.com.
Must have own magic carpet.
Yes, must own a magic carpet. Those are the only requisites. Rachel might have one that she borrowed, maybe. She take one home.
What? No, I missed it.
No, you missed it. It's okay. Don't worry. It's fine. Whatever. It was fine.
Right. It is fine. It's fine. It's fine.
So, CD Projekt Red made a lot of money, and then the bosses made even more, and the employees get about $5,000 to $9,000 for the majority of them, which is just wonderful. So, yeah,
that's fantastic. Congratulations! All that hard work and all that crunch time that we told everybody we weren't going to make you do, it's only worth about $5,000 to $9,000. Congratulations!
But they got paid overtime, man.
Yeah.
Right? Right, guys?
Well, I feel for the employees. I do. But at the same time, man, those bonuses, they don't belong anywhere in big budget games, period. Not the way that they're set up now. But CD Projekt Red definitely did not earn it. Cyberpunk is not fixed. And even if they fixed every single kink in that game, even if they ironed out all the issues, it still would not be the product that was promised to us. It still does not live up to. It doesn't even live up to the demo that they had a couple months before the game launched. That demo is different than the final product, and that's what sold everybody.
Yep.
What happens when the game of the year hits and all like 17 patches have come out and they've launched new content and they've turned it into essentially the equivalent exchange product that No Man's Sky was.
So I was going to bring that up. It's never going to be a No Man's Sky.
Never? You don't think so?
Never. It's not possible unless they fundamentally changed core aspects of the game that they're not going to do.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I'm not even a business person. I'm not an expert in business. I don't own my own business. Clearly, I sell PS5s at cost when I could be making more. So I clearly don't know what I'm doing.
So
But
much more.
No Man's Sky, if you play it now, is a nearly completely different game than it was when it first launched. Cyberpunk, when it is finally done, when it's all fixed, is gonna be, it's not gonna live up to the game that was originally promised. Even if they fix every single issue, even if they throw a little bit of polish on it, it's just not the game that was shown in the demo prior. It's not, and it never will be. They'd have to change the leveling system, they'd have to change the loot system, they'd have to change the fucking NPCs. The children NPCs are just shrunk adult NPCs. They'd have to change the whole fucking game. And it's just not worth it for them to do it. I would say on a business level, fix it, make sure that it works to the best of our abilities.
Right.
And that's it. We've already made our money. We're, throw it in the discount bin because that's essentially where it's going. So
what happens to Witcher 4 when they announce it in a few years?
Well, I feel they got to do a lot to win people back because they will never live this down. This will be brought up for the next couple of games that they make, and it will only go away if they ace every single one of the games that they launch for the next decade or 2 decades. Then people will stop bringing it up. But when Witcher 4 when Witcher 3 launched, it had all sorts of issues. It was still a great game, but it had lots of bugs.
I think the positives outweighed the cons.
Right, exactly, right. And Cyberpunk was not the same. It was super repetitive. It was,
and as I recall with The Witcher, the problems that it specifically had were more entertaining than annoying. Like they were pretty hilarious seeing some of the things that broke in Witcher 3. Cyberpunk's breakage was like, what?
Yeah.
Well, how? and then losing save data and everything as well, and just the debacle that it's been step by step. It's not going to come back. It's not going to get better. So, yuck.
No, I don't know. It's upsetting on the one hand, but on the other hand, are you going to completely swear off CD Projekt Red? No, probably not.
Right. You look at their total body of work, and people are going to forgive The Witcher because they're fans of The Witcher, and some people are going to apologize for it, and it's going to look very much like the political landscape, right?
I wish I had this screenshot because I think about it a lot.
Yeah.
That there is a specific screenshot. I think I might have seen it on Reddit, probably 8 years ago. And this was basically this huge fucking Steam group that was boycotting Left 4 Dead 2. They loved Left 4 Dead and they saw all the changes in Left 4 Dead 2 and they were just like, we're not going to play Left 4 Dead 2. Fuck Left 4 Dead 2. It was a big 30,000 member group and they had these just really big discussions about how they were just not going to play Left 4 Dead 2, especially on launch. And then someone took a screenshot of the group the day Left 4 Dead 2 came out, and every single person was live in Left 4 Dead 2. So I don't know if that's what Cyberpunk is going to end up being, because there's a lot of really loud names going out there saying that they're just not going to play another CD Projekt Red game, that they're just going to avoid it. And when the next CD Projekt Red game comes out, probably the next Witcher game or whatever, I don't know. We're gonna see gangbuster sales. So I don't know if they'll actually learn a lesson from this.
I mean, they could take Nintendo's example
and do what?
And release a new update for a game that is already past its lifespan, and try to fix every inherent thing that's broken about it.
They could just release The Witcher or CD Projekt Red in a smaller form factor without a dock
Without a dock. I mean, I suppose that's
or
an
without a
option.
dock.
They could
Yeah.
update Super Mario Party because that's the thing everyone's been looking for, right?
They,
That just got an online update today. It did not have online play prior to, or well, it got it the 27th, I guess it was. So, anyways, they released that update. It now provides online support for Super Mario Party, so that you can play Mario Party with people across the planet now. And it's about as well implemented as every other online thing that Nintendo does. Except I don't see how it works. With the amount of time it takes to do one round, how are two people going to stay connected long enough, let alone 4, 5, 6, 7 people?
This is a semi-serious question.
Okay.
But do you guys, either one of you, ever believe that Nintendo will ever be at the forefront of hardware development ever again? Like, will they ever be I mean, and I don't know how much longer consoles are going to be coming out, but then again, they say that with every console launch. But do you think that they will ever get back to a point where they're either on even playing fields with everybody else, relative same level of power for their console, or better? Because I feel like every issue that Nintendo has with every console launch, especially in comparison to the Xbox and PlayStation, whatever else is out there, is, I guess, it boils down to the fact that they just have underpowered hardware, which means it can't do all of the things that you would expect a modern console to do. Like you got to download a fucking phone app to do voice audio, talk to your friends or do this or do that, or it's do you guys think there will ever be a point where Nintendo, because there was, right? At one point they used to be like the pinnacle of hardware development. They used to be the best console on the block. And that just, I guess, from a hardware perspective, from a power perspective, will that ever be the case? Do you guys think that?
No, their focus is always on the experience, the gameplay, they control their software so strictly that it benefits them to have a simpler, more down to earth machine to program for, and one where they can set a common level of quality and meet that standard every single time, and have people who program for, or people who publish for the console, to meet that same standard with whatever kit, tools and dev kits that they have. It's also that mentality of, Nintendo's not chasing anybody. They're not chasing Sony. They're not chasing Xbox. They don't have to. They make their software. Their software will sell, and their software will sell their consoles for them. The next Smash will sell the successor to Switch. The next Zelda will sell the next successor to Switch. It's their cycle, and ever since, I mean, honestly, GameCube, it's how they've been doing it, because the Nintendo Entertainment System was a complete break for the industry, and then they followed up with the SNES, which was, Genesis was doing great because it was all that was there in the market, and then they dropped the SNES on everybody, and they start upping the ante, and to stay at that technological edge, they then start working on the Nintendo 64. And I still think that one of the big mistakes they made was continuing with cartridge-based technology rather than moving to discs. But I think the N64 was the last time they really chased what the other players in the market were doing. I think that was the last time they did that. They had such a experience with SGI with that console that when the GameCube came out, they said, okay, we're gonna miniaturize this. We're gonna put a fucking handle on it, and we're going to make it slightly less powerful than what's out there, but we're going to make software that kicks ass. And they did. They made Wind Waker and Mario Sunshine. Your bios may vary with that one, but Metroid Prime series. Nintendo's all about the quality of the software and the software experience. I think they're done chasing the Joneses when it comes to the cutting and bleeding edges of technology. I think it's going to be probably 1 or 2 generations before we start seeing Nintendo chase like 8K and 120 frames a second. I honestly don't see them needing to tout specifics when they can just give us a Nintendo Direct with video of gameplay from the new system and the new software they're developing. So that's my 2 cents on that.
I'm the same way with it. Nintendo's always been that experience, as you said, and every console generation, even dating as far back as the Nintendo, there were consoles that beat it significantly at the market level, power wise, and it's always been that way. They've always had somebody that's edged them power wise, but the experience was what kept people coming back. So your Zeldas and your Metroids and your F-Zeros and all those wonderful Nintendo properties that are still around to this day, they're selling those experiences. They don't care about really anything else. Nintendo's also been notoriously bad about adopting things a generation too late. And so taking to the CD format with the GameCube while everyone else had already moved on to DVD and digital, and they started moving to that forefront. Their little mini DVDs were great because of the speed. So they had certain advantages that were it was always that apples to oranges. I felt like it was always that way with them. And then the Wii hit, and hey, they weren't exactly massive success after the outlash that happened from the GameCube, but then they moved onward and upward with the Wii, and suddenly this became a household name. This became everyone's second console. So you had Sony people and you had Microsoft people, but they each owned the Wii.
Each had a Wii. And the reason being is they focused on the experience. It was the Wii was just basically the GameCube with all the features that should have been on the GameCube. And when the Wii hit, it was such a transcendent experience because they focused on the play experience. I had people that I had never that I knew had never touched a video game in their entire lives. They were 60, 70 years old. And when the Wii came out, they were telling me that they bought one and they were playing it with their grandchildren. And I'm like, awesome. But the sole reason they did it was because of the waggle control. They didn't have to worry about complicated face buttons and directional pads. They could just move their hand. And again, that's one thing that where Nintendo innovates is not the technology of the games. They keep a baseline standard with all of that. What they innovate with is this play experience. Like for instance, with the Wii U, as shat on as that console is, I enjoyed it because I had everything in one hand. I could just hold the game in one hand and play it. Sure, it wasn't as great as it was when I docked it and put it on the TV, but they kind of even went further with that model with the Switch and made the Switch even more of an experience to play, giving you a powerful console wherever you want it to go, a powerful enough console. You're not going to take a PS4 on a backpack and go have fun, but with a Switch you could do that. And again, it's all about experience. That's the reason I own one, was because hey, I could play Smash Brothers on the shitter.
Or Tetris on your PS
Yeah, or
Vita.
Tetris. That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. Handheld has never been, or it hasn't been very important to me in a long time.
Handheld's not.
Well, I feel like that is a big selling point for the Switch, and so I wish that they would focus more on hardware that doesn't run on a Tegra chip. Something with, a legitimate processor that could actually keep up with all the other consoles around it and doesn't have to make so many sacrifices on the software level, not just on the games, but just on basically like OS and just quality of life stuff. When I got back into Super Smash Brothers like 4 or 5 months ago, and I was playing every night regularly with friends. And if you guys have never used the Nintendo app to talk with people, to like chat with people online, it's a fucking awful experience. Even a couple years out now, it's just everyone cuts out. It cuts out in between matches. So it all disconnects, and then you got to rejoin again. It's just awful, awful, terrible. Multi-billion-dollar corporation has the most boxes. I might be wrong here, but has the most consoles sold out of everybody else. Huge install base, and this is their basically their solution to this issue because they have underwhelming hardware. And while I appreciate that they have a tailored experience, I think back, at least on a technical level, level, Apple was the same way. They had underpowered hardware compared to everyone else on the market. Less RAM, less operating or less operating speed, memory, whatever. But they had such really well developed software that it worked for a while, and then everyone else caught up and got better, and they had to do the same thing. And now they consistently have some of the fastest mobile processors on the market. But I don't
think Nintendo's going to go that route though. They're always trying to get. They're not only trying to get that entry level into that new experience, but they're also trying not to be the most expensive for that experience. And they did it. They did it with the Wii. The Wii was like what $249.99, while everyone else was $299 or $350.
Yeah. And this kind of harkens back to what we talked about with CD Projekt Red. Nintendo is a volume seller. We're going to sell this. We're going to expect certain numbers, and we're going to then cut off that supply so that if someone wants to come to the party late, you're still going to have to pay retail to get there. So there's a reason why, Pokemon Sword and Shield have been out for 2-3 years now. And I went to Target last night to price them since my kids are getting into Pokemon, and it's $60. The same price as Pokemon Snap, a game that just came out. And the reason being is because Nintendo controls minute portions of their supply and demand, and that's why Nintendo consoles are the ones that go up in value as you keep them, because people want those experiences, in the future, and the only way to get it is, because supply was limited. The only way to get it is to go on a reseller or go into a local video game store, which they're all dying out, but and it's the same thing. I'm linking it back to CD Projekt Red, saying, Dia, you mentioned that Cyberpunk 2077 will never be a No Man's Sky, and you're absolutely correct. And there's one key reason why. The Cyberpunk experience is a controlled experience that goes down a few branching paths. There is no freedom there. No Man's Sky, I can jump into a spaceship, go to whatever planet I can see in front of me, and start digging on that planet and build an underground base. I can't do that in Cyberpunk. And the main gameplay loop of fight bad guys and run from the cops is not good enough to keep that. If it were, it would just be Grand Theft Auto Cyberpunk, because that is a good gameplay loop, because there's so many variations of that gameplay loop in that game, and there's so many activities. In Cyberpunk 2077, you can follow an NPC, and it's essentially they will move from place to place to place to place, doing the same exact actions over and over and over again in a loop while you can follow them, and then they will literally walk right by a clone of themselves and not pay any attention to the fact that there's two people with that exact same outfit, face, and hair combination. So regardless of whatever CD Projekt Red does for Cyberpunk, it's going to be a budget title from this point forward if you want to play it, and that's a big if. With Nintendo hardware and software, if you want it, you're going to be paying a premium to get into that experience. and very rarely will you ever get more than $10 off a Nintendo game. So I think that's their model. They kind of they slid into that model with the GameCube, and they, even though the Wii saw tremendous popularity and a ton of shovelware because everybody owned one, the fact is it was two GameCubes duct taped together with a motion sensor.
I'm still sick to death of the Switch's marketplace and its inadequacies. Just to browse that Switch shop is a nightmare. Unless you know exactly what you want, then it's easy. But if you just want to browse and say, hey, let me see if I can find something that's got a good sale going on. 393 great deals. Oh, okay, let's start scrolling. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Oh, I got to wait for the images to load. Hang on.
Yep.
Bloop.
The fact that, I can't even use a good Ethernet adapter on the Switch. That thing that they don't have it even unlocked. The for those of you who do not know, the Switch dock has a USB 3.0 port on the back that is not unlocked. It does not have capabilities for USB 3.0 speed. So Nintendo has teamed up with Hori, which makes great products. They came out with they've had it on the market for a while, but it's a USB to Ethernet adapter. And I bought one, and I was getting just awful speeds because it was 2.0 speeds. I ended up trying to buy another one that is USB 3.0. I got marginally better connection, but it's the only way to solve the issue. If you want to browse their store at a reasonable clip and actually browse through things, you got to connect to Ethernet because Wi-Fi just does not cut it, no matter how fast your Wi-Fi is. This is a terrible implementation all around. And I'm not trying to turn this into shit on the Switch.
No,
or Nintendo.
It's just that business practice in general. It's like the PlayStation 4's storefront. Trying to browse the PlayStation Store's storefront within the console is an abysmal shitstorm of a depressing time in your life. Because to get that page to load and then to go bloop to bloop to bloop to bloop to what you want to look at, it is so horrendously lagged and buggy. And I hear that PS5 has fixed a lot of the shortcomings from the PS4's store. But I can't stand doing that. It's a better experience to go onto my PC, look at the storefront on the PC, on Chrome, or even Edge. I don't care. Go onto the web browser and look at the store there, and it's a completely night and day experience. If I want to browse the list of 390-something games, I can get that shit done in 3 minutes on Nintendo's website. I can get that shit done in PlayStation's website, same amount of time. 3 minutes. I top to bottom, I see everything that's there, and if I want something, I get it. If I don't, it's not the week for it. But why are those much better experiences? Why can't you streamline those to be the better experiences through the console? You're inhibiting your own growth. You're strangling your own self for the betterment of what exactly? I don't see the reasoning why they wouldn't make it so that those are more efficient.
Tegra chip.
Tegra chip, that's all it is?
That's the Tegra. I don't know. Who knows what a bunch of Japanese businessmen are doing? I don't know. There should be a technical term for that. Like a gaggle of geese, there should be a technical term for 3 or more Japanese businessmen together. And there should be a drop down for 3 or more Nintendo businessmen in a room together. It should be called a Tegra. It should be called a Tegra. I'm calling it right now. That's a Tegra. 3 or more Japanese, not a Nintendo Japanese executives in a room together. That's a Tegra right there.
Okay.
You heard it here first.
A Tegra of Nintendo businessmen.
There you go.
There you go.
Use it in a sentence.
They're all making very conservative.
Hey, those 3 Japanese guys looks like they're going to make a Tegra of a decision. No, I'm using it wrong. Those Tegra guys. Those Tegra.
That Tegra of Japanese.
English isn't his first language, folks. It's okay.
It's not even my second language now. I know Tegra.
Look at that Tegra businessman.
Yeah,
There you
there you
go.
go.
There you
They
go.
look like they're ready to fuck me on the next console exclusive.
Yep. They're about to make a very conservative business decision.
Adam, you hit on supply and demand a little earlier, and I think it rolls into the idea that you had for tonight's cast. One of the stories you had.
Yeah. The supply and demand of out of print content, specifically foreign content. So I will, great segue. Yar, exactly. But Yar doesn't always save you.
You're right. I've been looking
give
for
you-
that all week. I've been looking for what you were
Yeah,
looking for all week.
exactly.
I found one copy, and it hosed on me about 1.5 gigs into a 2 gig download. And
What is it that you guys are looking for?
Okay, so I will begin story time.
Story time.
Story time with Adam. So this conversation actually occurred on Twitter. Twitter? What the fuck?
Twitter.
Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter is a thing, I guess.
Now,
Hey,
it's
don't
the
worry.
Twitch-
English isn't his first language.
No, I'm from Alabama.
Twitter is coming.
Yeah. Now is the Twitter of my discontent. But I was speaking with some anime fans on Twitter, and we were discussing the absolute shit show that is rights of older anime in America. So, for instance, I think when it came out, Onegai Sensei, which is a favorite of mine from the early aughts, Bandai released it, and then Bandai's entertainment wing said no, they lost the license, and then someone else released it about 6 or 7 years later, and then they lost it, and meanwhile all of these collections are going out of print. The manga was dropped from ADV, I think, and so that was prior to it actually finishing, I believe, being translated. So that was fantastic. And I was just really absolutely pissed off that I can't purchase that anywhere. The last time it was available to purchase was 2018 on a DVD collection, not even Blu-ray. It's one of my favorite. Yeah, it's kitschy and corny, but it's one of my favorites, and I couldn't find it. But I can get it now because it's all on YouTube, because the people who own the rights now released it all on YouTube. Yay, for free.
Yay.
Yeah, it's like piracy, but legal. Recently, I have decided to rewatch Ori Matagori, which is My Love Story in English. I love that.
Wait.
I love that show.
Why in English?
Hmm?
Come again? In English, like
In
with the English voice cast.
No,
Okay, Japanese, but with English subtitles.
yeah. Well, there is a dub too. It was a Crunchy thingy. They're the ones who simulcasted it, so it's still available on Crunchy. But there was a live action adaptation of it in 2015, and I've been kind of on a live action anime adaptation binge recently, and I refound, you know how sometimes you lose media and you refind it and you decide to rewatch it. Well, I rewatched the series, all 24 episodes. I was like, you know what? I heard about when this was when this was simulcasting in America. I heard about the live action adaptation, and that never came to the States. It was never translated.
2015.
Yes, 2015. And here I am 6 years later going, I would like to see that in whatever form I can get it. And it's nowhere. No one, it was never opted and licensed in America. There were fan subs that were available through Yar that have all gone dead.
I even sailed the high seas myself, and I'm usually
Yeah.
pretty good at finding this stuff, and nowhere.
Nothing. It's
Nothing.
completely dead, out of print. The only option I would really have is to order it from a bargain bin DVD place in Japan and learn Japanese to watch it. And while I do know a tiny bit of conversational Japanese, as most anime watchers do,
Nani?
I'm not getting through that. There's some there, it's a little bit more advanced than I can do. Yeah. So and that led me down the he's searching for it. That led me down the path. Whoa, that led me down the path of discussing rights with a whole bunch of people on Twitter. Started a whole thread, even pulled in Retro Crush, which is a service that licenses anime from the 80s, 90s, and aughts to, and they retranslate it and they find the dubs if they ever existed and clean them up and they put them online for high dev for fairly cheap price. It's like $30 a year. So it's and I've been on their free ad supported version for a while now since they went into beta, and I'm probably going to end up paying for the service because it's actually pretty good. They have some really high quality old school stuff, but they can't get everything, and they're trying to get a whole bunch of licenses that have gone dead since American licenses that have gone dead, because who really wants to see the second Patlabor movie? Well, I would, because I loved Patlabor as a kid. But not many people are going to go, yeah, I want to see Patlabor 2 specifically, but so Retro Crush was like, well, this is a cheap license, we'll grab it. So they've been building their content for the past year, and they're out of beta finally, so you can watch it anywhere. It used to be just mobile only. But anyway, we got in this long conversation about how licenses just die outside of the country of origin, and that means translations are lost and have to be redone every time that media comes back into the States with a license. That licensor has to translate it because most of that media is gone. It's not available anywhere. Mm-hmm. And that got me on another tangent about anime recommendations and how poor they are, because Funimation has this anime and Crunchyroll has this anime, and VRV has this anime, Netflix has that anime, Amazon Prime has this anime. There is no centralized, there's my anime list, but there's no centralized algorithm that can tell you, oh, if you're watching this show, you're going to love this other show on this other streaming network, because the streaming networks aren't going to shake hands like that.
Nope.
And it kind of blows my mind, because you have places like Pandora and Spotify who do similar, and they're the same exact thing. Their content is siloed. Their algorithms are siloed to their content. So it kind of applies to music as well. But then you have things like the Roku app and canistreamit.com that will, use the APIs of all the streaming services, see if what you want to watch is there, and make recommendations to you based on the stuff that you've searched for. Hey, if you think this is cool, you'll love this. It's on Netflix. It's also on Amazon, or you can rent it for $3.99. That kind of stuff. I would love to see that for anime, specifically.
Let's take a step back here, okay? So my understanding, if I'm getting this correct, right, is you have highlighted a problem, an actual problem in the market. Mm-hmm. You have then detailed other people who are solving similar problems, and then are now bringing up a way to solve this problem. And you are just giving away our, idea. And I'm saying our now, $1 million idea. Because now we're all involved. I have a stake in this. Okay. So now you're live streaming to any asshole who's watching, except for Stuart.
Yeah.
To anybody that, hey, just go ahead, take our non-patented idea and cash it in yourself. That's fine.
Feel free.
It's okay.
There you go.
I don't want to find asshole. I don't want. There you go, Stuart. And Rachel. Yeah.
Oh, let me write this down real quick.
This is why we'll never have our private island.
Laser Scope, I suggest the VOD.
It's because stuff like this.
These conversations are going to silence.
The clip feature works too.
All I've ever wanted since I was a small child was a small island to call my own. Gorilla Nerd Fair Island. That's all I've ever wanted. And we had it. It was in my hands, and you let it slide away.
I pulled it right out.
Damn it.
There you go.
It just fell from the heavens into your lap, and then I stole it and spread it to the masses. It's mostly because I don't want to have to be in charge of doing it. And
Yeah,
if someone-
imagine that. That'd be logistically a nightmare.
How would you even
get all
begin?
those, get those. So you'd have to. Oh man, I'm gonna detail how to
Hang-
fucking do it.
Hang on. Let me pull up Reddit real quick. Let me go to reddit.com. /r/anime. There we go. Reddit.com/r/anime. Hold up. Let's load this page. All right. Let's see here. We got all the latest stuff for the week hitting here. All that. There's got to be something in here, right? There's got to be something. Let's see. Visual art.
On a side note, Laser Scope, you ever noticed how many fucking anime are named and or are based off of Alice in Wonderland?
Oh, God.
Including current anime. There are a lot, like in the last 2 or 3 years.
There's Alice in Wonderland. There's Alice in Borderland. There's something about a white rabbit. You're 100%. It's fucking insane. Oh,
Yeah, they have these like visual things.
If only I had a service that allowed me to collate and then figure out all of my different Alice in Wonderland related anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, if only there was a way.
If only there was a simple search bar interface where you could type in Alice in Wonderland as a tag and a whole bunch of lists of anime popped up with links to where you can stream them. It'd be amazing if something like that existed.
Does it? Does it?
Find out for us, Steve. Use your sleuthiness. Because if it exists, I will patronize the shit out of the page.
Well, it's usually anime. r/anime, and then they have like spring
Dude,
anime
press the button.
listed.
Get ready to press the button. It's happening.
Which button? Stadia news.
Wait. Never mind. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh! Hang on, I gotta get my a-hole button, man. Shit!
Get ready. But it
Priming.
appears that
Priming the a-hole button. Where's it?
Oh,
Whoa, damn it! Where is it? Son of a bitch.
Go.
Oh God! What an asshole!
There, okay, good. We got it. Okay.
All right, nailed it.
All right. The streak continues.
Where the hell my asshole button go? I gotta put that somewhere. That's ridiculous. My asshole button's got to be around here somewhere. A-hole.
Asha, you have fans.
A-hole. Oh.
Wow, what an asshole!
Better late than never.
I think she heard that.
Probably.
She did. She turned her head.
Now she's looking over the Pride.
Oh wow! Look at that.
On Pride Rock, you can hear the
everything she surveyed.
No.
I'm clipping the shit out of that shit.
Anyway, there's infographics on that subreddit anime where they display the season's animes, synopsis, what to expect, all that good stuff, and then they have icons that represent what streaming service they're available on, and those have been indispensable to me for keeping track of what, where, how, and what to keep track of as far as current anime. Old anime,
yeah,
it's Wild West.
I want a database of. So, for instance, I'll give like if someone came to me and said, "Oh, Adam, you told me to watch Eerie Azerum the animation, which is like from fucking 1995," and I was wondering if you had anything similar to that. I was like, well, absolutely. Watch Appleseed and watch Armitage the Third. And those are two shows that are not Ghost in the Shell, that are like Ghost in the Shell, and are just as good. And you know what? My ass just gave everybody on this stream really great anime to watch. Go watch them. But that's what I'm talking about. I want, like, I love Robot Circus. Okay, you'll also love Galaxy Express 99. I like Gundam, Macross, Patlabor, stuff from Gundam 83. Not how many people have watched that? It's just,
oh man,
it's just, as a dude who's been watching anime since I was like 7. No, yeah, 7. My first anime was the Robot Circus on Sci-Fi Channel when it was called Science Fiction Network. But I want an algorithm that is just as knowledgeable as me and not as ugly. So someone needs to get to work on that.
Verve used to be relevant until Sony bought the company that runs it, right?
Yeah, Verve was great.
I dumped that subscription so fast. The moment I heard the news, I'm like, yeah, I'm out. Time to go there.
And I never started. Never started.
It was such a great service because it bundled services.
For 2 years.
It was the golden everything. I was so willing to pay because it was $10 a month. You got both
Funimation and Crunchy.
And
Verve's own content that they were creating, which
Last Man. Holy shit, Last Man was good.
Mm-hmm. And there were other things that I don't remember well because they weren't as good, but
yeah. But now they've segmented it. So as soon as they left, Crunchy left when ATT bought it. Yeah. And so as soon as they started departing companies from Verve, that was when I dropped.
That's why Crunchy sucks now. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, right.
I have a Crunchyroll sub, but I've had a Crunchyroll sub for years.
Yeah.
I think my only anime sub.
Sony already owns Crunchy, and I'm like I said, as soon as that content on Verve shifted, they had everything there, and then one of the major ones left, and they replaced it with a dub service instead, and so they just specialized in nothing but English dub anime, and it was always like the last seasons of all the stuff that's popular now on Crunchyroll, and it was not the same experience. I didn't care for it, and I was like, nope, I'm out.
Yeah.
That was it for this episode of Shark Tank.
Yep.
I think Funimation is
High Dive,
bunch, right? I mean, they have good content, but as far as performance wise,
Crunchy's streaming capabilities are shit, and their app is ass. A lot of butt related humor coming at me right now. But High Dive has been great. I trialed it. I didn't end up paying for it, but it has a lot of adult oriented content, which would never make it on Funimation or Crunchy.
Oh, so that's where Interspecies reviewers went.
Yes, actually.
Oh.
But there's one recent one that was highly censored on Crunchy, and the uncensored version of it is on High Dive. It's fucking, I'll look it up. It's why are you suddenly here, senpai or no sensei or something like that, where a teacher, it's sexual stuff between teachers and students. It's gross, but it's also funny, but also gross. Very gross.
That sounds like it's both of those things.
But funny.
Crunchy equal VRV. I was thinking Funimation leaving a few years back.
Yep.
Sony already owned Funimation. Sony owns Funimation? Huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
They now are acquiring VRV, which will hypothetically merge all into Funimation when the sale finishes. Huh. I didn't know any of this. I haven't been keeping track of I've just been using Crunchyroll. And it unfortunately means I've missed out on some anime until it has launched on physical media, but I'll
get you an invitation to my Plex server. It'll be fine.
I was about to say, if you have the amazing, wonderful access to Yar Central. Yeah, but it was oh my god, Yar.
I didn't have my cup this week, so I had to make some.
Oh yeah. Why the hell are you here, teacher? Is the name of the show.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Is that the one with the peephole and the look at the peephole and all that?
That occurs a few times.
Oh, there we go. That's the one.
It's mostly the one where it opens with a guy with bad stomach cramps going into the bathroom and having his teacher sit on his lap. So,
I'm, but
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
I mean, there's a whole conversation about repressed sexual urges in the country of Japan, but we won't go into that.
Oh,
I mean-
Japan.
Technically, Mushoku Tensei is kind of content that swings that way, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go out of frame.
Oh, there he goes. There he goes. He's gone. But I didn't mind it, I guess, so much.
No, yeah, it's actually a good series.
Oh man.
All right.
So it looks like Microsoft is actually doing something good for a change.
Oh yeah,
Which is
when
nice.
when you link that to me, I was thinking about the good thing that Comcast did for Dia.
Oh yeah, Dia did the.
Good thing or a thing they did for me.
Was it not good? Or your speed slower?
They
They're
bumped you up
not. They're not slower,
bumped
but
up a quarter gig, man.
they did. They did.
Did you immediately go to speedtest.com and test that theory?
No, I
You
have
should
not.
have. And then you should have immediately gotten on the phone and said, "Hey, I'm supposed to be getting 1.2 gigs."
Well,
now."
they don't guarantee the top speed.
Oh,
Not only that, but I think the only thing that could reason I have a gigabit for let me back up. Let me roll back. For those of you who do not know, I'm paying Comcast, or as my friend who works in the ISP industry likes to call them, Cutcast. Though I won't call them that. I think terrible name. But anyway, I'm paying Comcast for gigabit internet right now. So it's the fastest speeds that they offer in my area. And I get most of the time close around that. I get about 8 to 900 down on a good day. And on a really good day, I'll get my full gigabit speeds, but I live in a college town, so that doesn't happen all the time.
Nope.
And I recently got an email saying that they were going to increase my gigabit speeds at no additional cost from 1 gigabit to 1.2 gigabit. However, I think while I have a modem and router combination that's more than capable, I think where I would probably be limited is I don't have a multi-gig switch. I have a gigabit Ethernet switch, and that's it.
Yep.
So anything that's plugged into the switch isn't going to get those speeds theoretically. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't tested it. So I don't know. I have not tested it at all. I could test it right now. Let's see. Let's see what I'm getting. What is the place? Where do you guys test your speeds? What do you-
Speedtest.net or Ookla, wasn't it?
Ookla, yeah.
OOKLA?
Yeah, it's just go to speedtest.net. It'll figure all that shit out.
Yeah.
So right now I am getting. This is not through speed test. This is through Google. But let's see what Google's saying. I'm getting 837 down right now.
Okay.
Let's see what fast.com tells me. Very comparable. Let's see what speed test says. I've heard, and I don't know a whole lot about this. I'm pretty ignorant, but I have heard that speed test isn't the best because they'll bypass certain things and just try to get your fastest theoretical speed and not what the actual speed at the time is.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not 100% sure if I'm explaining that right or if that is even the case. So, Xfinity has a speed test now. All right, let's see what they say. This would be very interesting.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh
Mhm.
man, it's already faster than the last 3 tests I've done.
Oh, wow.
That
It's
sounds
telling
about-
me I'm getting about 930 down. It's even got
Yeah.
a little rocket ship graphic.
because you're rocketing.
That's the
Expecting
Xfinity.
more speed? Question mark.
Yes, I am.
Your
Gimme.
plan speed. They know.
Oh, they know you're
1200. 1200 down.
How about that?
So speed test isn't finding an optimal server for me, but Fast.com, I am hitting 930.
Is it fast.com?
Fast.com, I'm hitting 930 right now.
All right, here I'll do it.
My latency is 4.
I'm the person streaming, and I'm hitting 790.
Nice.
It's pretty good.
Now my pipe is at least bogged down with 720 streaming. So even though I'm live streaming, and even though I'm actually live streaming and recording at the same time, local. So that's two different outputs that I got data.
Your throughput is also being limited by that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, well,
my hard drive will be full in approximately 671 hours, so we have plenty of time.
We got plenty of time. Let's do this marathon. Let's go.
I feel as though it's not really a good thing. It's just something that Xfinity should have been giving me from the beginning.
Yeah.
But that it doesn't fucking matter anyway. I still have a 1.2 terabyte data cap anyway.
The cap is killing you.
I gotta pay $30 to get rid of it.
30 to get rid of that?
$30 unless I use their own hardware, which I'm never gonna do. In which case, it's only $10 to get rid of it. But I'm not gonna pay $30. I don't use enough internet, mostly because I've trained myself not to use that much internet. Because there were times during the pandemic when I got perilously close, like basically like testicle care close. That's how close. So it was bad.
So when I moved, the
testicle care close.
I like it. I'm gonna use that. When I moved to my new home, I had two options. I had AT&T fiber to my door, I had Comcast fiber. So I looked into Xfinity fiber, and it was 1 terabyte data cap. And so for 2 months before I knew I was going to have to move, I, tracked all the stuff that my kids were streaming. I was downloading from Steam and, watching 4K streaming on 2 of our televisions. We were perilously close to terabyte just every freaking month. And we went over a couple of times. And I'm like, there's no way. So I looked into it, and yeah, you're right. It's $30 for unlimited everything, no data cap. That's on top of the $75 it would cost to actually have the service. So my internet bill would go from $49.99 with AT&T. I was an AT&T customer at the time, to like 105 or some shit. And yikes. I'm like, and I told AT&T, I was like, hey, I'm moving, but I want to keep the fiber service that I have here. Do you guys get service my address? And they're like, yeah. I said, well, how much would it cost to actually install it? Because they had to, run a line to my office, bury it in my yard, and run it to the hub box at the end of the road. And they're like, that's free, dude. Like, okay. So I have since gone to a whopping $60 a month, but it's still, I hate AT&T. I would never use them for wireless. I would never use them for television because I was forced to use them for television. It was absolutely gross. Back when I actually watched TV, I don't do that anymore. But their internet, I've had no problems. There's been no strange bullshit happening to my bills like DirecTV did to me a long time ago. And they give me HBO Max for free. So far I'm liking it.
I did this podcast for almost a decade now.
Wow.
And I've never liked them. Never liked them.
I play the name game with Fios so that I get the promo set each couple of years. Mm-hmm. And so it's in my name, it's in my wife's name, back and forth. And they never question it. They just like, yeah, that's fine, here you go. And so we stay at the 2-year rate every 2 years, and then when we see that bill spike, we make the change. One of those swaps we decided, hey, this is a pretty good deal. Let's try Xfinity. And they came out, and the first thing they did was cut the FiOS line into the house. That was the first thing they did, was they destroyed the original line, ran their line, and then gave me the money back guarantee or whatever. Their crap didn't work. The TV service was really slow on the menuing. I couldn't ever get that to function the way that they showed it should be functioning. They couldn't figure out there was any problem. I said, all right, come get your stuff. So they came and got their stuff, and then I had to contact FiOS back and get reconnected, and they had to charge me $88 to get reconnected back with them because they cut the line, and they showed me where they cut the line. And I called back, and I'm like, y'all owe me $88. No, we don't. So, all right, don't ever show up at my door ever again. I'll whip that dude's ass. 1 year later, to the day, here they come, cold knocking at the front door. And the first thing I did was I opened the front door, but not the screen door. And he introduced himself, and he says he's with Comcast. And I said, wait a minute, who are you with? With Comcast. I popped that screen door open so quick. I took 3 steps outside, got right in his face. I said, you got 2 choices. You move the fuck on and don't ever look at my house again, or we going to scrap right here in the yard. Y'all costed me
$88.
Yeah, or pay me $88. I'm gonna take $88 out your ass. That's what I'm gonna do. I never saw them again. They still send me mailers, and I still just throw them out on the ground. I throw them out, and anytime someone says, "Man, this dude's littering," no, Xfinity's littering. That's garbage, and they're littering when they send that to me every single time.
It slid out of my mailbox. It
slid right out. I used to just cycle them back into the return slot. I'd get like 14 of them things in cycle, and each time they'd stick them right back in the mailbox, and I'd just keep cycling. I knew the mailman had a hard time with that, because I just I'd write return to sender on it and send it in the return slot, and they put it right back in my box. And every day, just cycled it like that. But they haven't knocked on my door anymore.
They know not to do that. They probably have your face and your picture of your house on a no-fly zone.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. Don't even look at my door again.
As Rachel knows, I mean, she lives in NorCal, just like me. We don't have a whole lot of internet options, a whole lot of ISP options. You got Comcast, you got maybe a couple of regional players, and a lot of satellite options. Mm-hmm. You don't want to. I know that Starlink.
Oh God, Starlink is ass.
Yeah, it's been helping a lot of people out here. I don't have any personal experience with it, but I know that we've had people who have gone from literally no internet to great internet, whatever their interpretation of great internet is. But yeah, man, Comcast is king out here in NorCal, and it is terrible. I've wanted to go to FiOS for so long, especially since I work for the company, but I can't get it. Is
Google a closer option for you now than FiOS ever will be?
No, the closest option that I would have to me, which is still not feasible, there's a local player out here that does great internet, but they are local. So are not local, but they're like North Bay area only. So I have like basically no ability to get internet from them. I'm way too far out of their network range. But everywhere that they connect, they seem to be doing amazing internet for very, very, very little money, like $50 to get gigabit internet with no caps. So as far as Google is concerned, my understanding is in a lot of areas in the North Bay area, they're not doing fiber anymore. So they're basically piggybacking off of other people's, poles or whatever, and going into people's houses. And then the big draw there is that it's just very inexpensive for what you get. You get great speeds, maybe not gigabit, but you get great speeds for a little money, which is great too. But yeah, if I want the fastest speeds possible, Comcast is the only option I have, and it is awful. I hate Comcast with a passion, but they're I guess objectively the best internet option I have for now. So
Yeah, Earthlink has a office in Conshohocken, Pennsylvania. I know that because I worked adjacent to the building that this Earthlink office was actually located. It's kind of crazy to think that dial-up ISPs still exist, but I guess yeah, they would. I think the majority of their business is point of sale, at least for another year or two.
Jesus.
I think they're converting over in another year or two to where everyone has to have broadband now.
Oh,
That's good.
Yeah.
I don't think any American should be without broadband.
yeah, I think it's right. I think I'm of the opinion that internet is so important now that it should be a utility rather than a service.
Agreed.
It should be. I should be paying for my internet on the same bill that I pay for my sewer and water. So
makes sense.
And municipality internet exists. I had it when I lived in Noonan, Georgia. It was the city ran it. They bought the lines from AT&T in the early 90s. They upgraded the lines, and they were offering up to 600 MEPs. Well, when I left, they were offering up to 600 MEPs for like $55, and there was no data caps. There was no
fast as they could give it to you at the time.
No DMCA signing. So.
Yay! That's
but
nice. Getting those emails sucked.
Yeah.
We caught you downloading this popular movie.
And you know what I did to those lovely things? I went, hit a button, and that button read.
Let me tell you a slightly related story, man. Cool. So I have 5 younger brothers, and only one of them lived at home at a time when I moved away from home. And our internet provider, did the DCMA, like letters. We caught you downloading this. We caught you downloading that. And my mom's a nutbag, but you don't want her upset at you, so you try to find a way out of it. And my brother downloaded some videos, not just any videos. I come home, I'm visiting home one day, and my mom brings them to my attention. She's like, "Look at all these letters I got your brother. We're on this strike list. He downloaded Star Wars XXX and Star Trek XXX, and all these videos just XXX." And I'm just reading the titles, and they're just cut off, but I already know what they are. And I'm just like, yeah, it's better to do it now. He did download Star Wars. He did download Star Trek. And I'll talk to him about this so he doesn't download these again. Because the last thing we want him to do is download these PG-13 national movies. Whew. And I had to make sure she just ignored those. And then I had to call him and let him know whoo, boy. This could have been a whole lot worse for you. It really could have.
That's some epic brotherly love right there. Always protecting your bro.
Oh, man.
Did you slip him a flash drive afterwards and be like,
oh, hell no.
Oh, my goodness.
Was there a Mortal Kombat XXX in there?
There was not.
Not? Oh,
wow. If only I had an aggregated website where I could search and see if I could find my Mortal Kombat XXX and where I could stream it, and then find related content. If only someone would come out with such a service so I could avoid it, because I'm a God-fearing man.
Oh my god.
The movie was alright. I thought it was a good movie. I don't know.
Oh god. Surprisingly enough, this also reminds me of another situation that I was recently in. Not the porn, but and this might kind of hit home with Dia a little bit, and he might be able to explain some of this stuff. So after about 4 years of having the same phones, I decided, okay, it's time to move on up in the world. and get new phones. And so I was looking at, I'm a Sprint customer, which means I'm also a T-Mobile customer by proxy. But they still treat us like we're separate, which is insane, even though the plans are the same and they force you to get T-Mobile SIM cards.
Yep.
If you want 5G access. So I call. This is my first problem there. Is I call because I call T-Mobile, and because T-Mobile's running a promotion where you can get an S21 5G and then get one for free when you activate multiple lines, which I would need too. And so I was like, okay, great. I might be, I might be a Sprint customer, but I should be considered a new customer to T-Mobile because I just want to make the full-on switch now before they take over in a couple of years, and I'll be forced to do the switch anyway. So I call, and the system says, thanks for calling T-Mobile. What are you interested in? So I tell the system in my best proper accent that I want to get a new plan.
Swap phones.
Guys, wrong getting them damn wrong phones on my goddamn shit. And to keep in mind, I have not called Sprint. I have not called Sprint support. The T-Mobile system recognized my phone number because I was calling from my cell phone. I don't have a landline. And it forwarded me to the retention department at Sprint. And I get this nice young person on the phone. And they tell me, yeah, you've been with Sprint for like a decade, man. You're awesome. I'm like, yeah, I am awesome.
Thank you for noticing.
I use you guys because you don't have data caps. That's why I got with you guys back in 2009 or whatever. And you had unlimited everything. And then you guys stopped having that, and then you have it back again because you're now on T-Mobile. But so I told this person, yeah, I'm looking. I saw this offer online for T-Mobile. I just want to be connected to the T-Mobile guys, and they literally told me, "You're talking to the retention department at Sprint. We're gonna see what we can do for you." I'm like, I just want to talk to T-Mobile and be treated as a new customer. And then I'm told they won't treat you as a new customer. They will send you to what's called their migration team to migrate you fully into the T-Mobile experience and the T-Mobile website. So I would not be considered a new customer to T-Mobile. And I'm like, and they said, well, that works great because you've got tenure. You've got 10 years of being with us. So that will transfer over to T-Mobile. And I'm like, basically what you're telling me is that I don't qualify for any goddamn fucking deal you have. And, which, hey, that turned out to be true. So I talked to the person. I don't want to gender them, but I talked to them, and I said, all right, well, tell me what you can do for me. I'll stay a Sprint customer if you can come under this number right here per month. And they said, okay, yeah, we can do that. So we'll get you in under $90 for 2 lines. That's with taxes and fees included because we're a T-Mobile provider now. And I'm like, awesome. And I said, well, how much are the phones? They said, well, let's see here. If you trade in your current S9s, you'll get $200 credit per line, and you'll only be paying $8.34 a month for each phone. I'm like, fuck yeah, that'll cut my bill by $30 because I was doing the taxes estimation on a worksheet. They hate informed people, by the way, who know how to calculate this shit. I don't know if Dia does or not, but we won't go there.
I like informed customers.
Yeah,
they're actually my favorite customers because I don't have to spend an hour explaining every fucking iota of information involved in the wireless process. So
that, and I got that even though they knew I was a customer for this long. But that's to come. So I'm like, awesome, that's wonderful, great. I talked over to my wife. I was like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and do this today. And I asked the lady, I said, okay, so it'll be $0 now. It'll probably take a couple of billing cycles for those credits to come through since I have to mail the phones back to you guys. She said, yeah, thank me for being super informed because I've been down this road before. But the thing was, is I was going off of a lease into a own, monthly payment system, so I would own the S21s at the end of the contract because Sprint had that weird ass flex lease bullshit, where I'm paying $18 to use the same phone every fucking month. So we go through that. I'm like, I'm happy. I'll be saving $30 in my bill every month, which means there's more money in my pocket, and my employer already pays me a stipend for that, so it'd be even less of a drain on me. And so she said, okay, well, I went ahead and switched your plans. You're good to go. You're on the more modern Sprint plans. And one of the downsides is my wife watches a lot of Hulu, and Sprint was paying for it, so I tacked it onto our bill for $4.99 a month, which is cheaper than their normal Hulu cost. And I had to do all that, so that's $5 extra a month I have to pay. And then everything's good. I get sent to sales to finalize the phone purchases, and that's when shit falls off. I'm talking with her, and I've got all my numbers stacked up. The phones will cost this per month. The taxes are estimated to be this per month. The cost of lines are this with taxes and fees included. So my bill will be X. And I tell her this. I've calculated, and the lady in retention helped me calculate that my bill will be this. It is $30. I want to move forward with this. And she says, oh, that's not right. I'm like, what do you mean? She said, the phones are $24.99 a month. They're normally $33, but you're getting a credit of $8.34 to reduce it to $24.99.
So it's not $8.30 something per phone. It was a discount of $8.
A discount of 8.34.
They already got that recording. So whoops.
Yeah. So then the ordeal is, I don't want this anymore. I'm like, that's going to put me at like $40 more than I'm paying a month now. I'm just going to go to T-Mobile and get the buy one, get one as a new customer. And they said, T-Mobile will know that you're a Sprint customer. You will have better luck getting a deal at Verizon or someone else. And I'm like, you're telling me this as a salesperson? and I turned into, angry Southern dad. And I'm like, so you mean to tell me I've been with you guys for a decade and I can't get a deal at all, period? Is there something you can do for me? Well, we can look at a different phone. And I was like, okay, well, we'll look at a different phone. But, this is already after we had researched the S21. We thought it'd be the best thing to go because we're running S9s. They're ancient. And so she shows me the A32.
Oh.
And I'm like, you're showing me the A32? Really?
Those that don't know the cell phones, that's a huge jump in chipset, power, strength, storage. Does it even have 5G?
Well, no
5G. It's like 2-3 generations. It might be a half a generation step up from the S9s you were using.
Correct.
Like
yeah.
Going to buy a Honda Accord and leaving with a Smart 4.2.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent. I could get you a car in that budget.
Yeah, I think this A32 actually, I still have the tab open. I think it actually is.
Boy, do I have deal for you.
A potato return. So eventually I'm just like, well, and then my phone goes off. They've already switched my plan. So I have no fucking choice. I'm like, great. So I lost the plan that I've had for 4 years, and I like that plan. And now I'm on this new plan that, even though it's cheaper at the per line level, it's more expensive because I have to add to it the insurance for my wife's phone because she lets the kids handle it, and that needs insurance. Yep. I don't, since mine is a work phone, or for work. And anyway, so now I'm 40 up. Even with the A32, I would still be like $10 increase. And so I'm like, God, what the fuck am I gonna do? And finally, I talked to my wife, and she's all about the camera, and she likes the camera on the 21. So I was like, look, I mean, it's not like we can't afford it, but I just hate paying, $200+ for phone service for just me and you. That's, in my opinion, that's ridiculous, but I'm also old. So we decide which, fuck it, we'll do it. And so, then it's time for survey time. So I'm like,
survey gets a negative, right?
Yeah. So here's what I did. I was the only plus is the sales lady was incredibly patient with me when I was really, I've worked those phones before. I worked in support for years. I don't want to be that customer that just ruins someone's day. So even though, yeah. So I'm mad now, and I'm like, I'm going to give this lady fucking hell. And I do. I don't yell at her. I don't call her names. I don't say this is all bullshit. Fuck you. I literally say, we're going to work this out. But I just want to express to you how disappointed I am in the experience I've had today. And I said it with a lot more.
A lot more dad. A lot more dad.
Disappointed dad voice. Yep. You know what that sounds like.
Oh, yeah. Very disappointed.
Just like, I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
You should have just talked to her in disappointed dad puns the entire time.
I did make a few jokes, and since she was of a non-American background, she probably got none of them. Again, that's not a problem for me. I don't mind that. I have no problem with call centers being in other countries and people using their unnatural names. I don't have a problem with it. I have no problem with it. They're usually nicer than people in fucking America. But yeah, Steve.
Nothing.
So
I didn't say nothing.
So finally the survey time comes, and I'm honest. I'm like, look, the sales lady was great. She was she was patient with me. She answered every question I had, every scenario I threw at her. I was on the phone with her for over an hour. I kind of probably shat on her day a little bit. I still thanked her for everything at the end of the conversation, but and then of course the real kicker was, well, you have to pay the taxes now. So I still had to pay money today. I had to pay, and and the next kicker is right after this. But I was honest on the survey. I gave the experience a 5, and then explained exactly what happened. I was told one thing, it became another thing when the conversation shifted to purchasing, and I felt as if I had been basically bamboozled. I think I used a better term than that.
I've been swindled.
Yes, I basically I feel as if this experience was almost, there was ineptitude in this experience that caused me to feel as if
what is this chicanery?
Yeah, it's like I go to buy a Honda and I get a 4.2 offered to me. So that cut through management. Laser, that cut through management right away. So apparently that rating was for the sales lady I was complimenting in the comment, not for the retention lady retention person that was fucking me over. And so I get a phone call from Sprint very quickly. The supervisor over the person I had rated a 5 is now talking to me, and I'm having to. So now I feel like a complete asshole because they said they were taking corrective action. I'm like, I might have gotten someone fired.
Oh dear.
And the wrong person. So then I had collected names, and I was giving names to the supervisor. Like, no, you need to go talk to these people in this department and let the corrective actions be on them. Please tell this other person that I am sincerely sorry, and I will try to adjust the rating as such. You can't, spoiler. The system locks it in. But the big kicker was I looked at my pending bill that will have some of the charges from all of this on it, and there were per line a $20 fee, and they let you drill down on that fee, and here's what that fee was: customer support fee. They charged me $40 fucking to bait and switch my ass. They charged me money to swindle me.
Oh, you hear the bass.
I thought Verizon was supposed to be the most expensive carrier on the market.
No.
You hear the
Now-
bass? He turned the bass up on it. He was all right. He was like just normal Adam, and then right there, boom.
That is
Shit.
called. I started to use my death metal diaphragm. For
I
that one.
shrunk up a minute there. I'm like, oh shit.
So I don't pull that out very often.
For good
the
reason.
only other time I pulled that out was when a developer and I had a disagreement, and actually I think Laser was here this day at work with me. I had a disagreement with a developer over email, and I got so frustrated and so loud and so bassy and slammed my fist on a table and scared my boss half to death, who was standing next to me, and he like just walked away. He was like, "I'm not dealing with this shit. I'm gone." So I don't pull that side of me out, but
it's there.
it's there and it'll come pretty hard all over everything.
I just want to say three things. The first thing is that with the trend in anime now, we could very likely see an anime about a group of very handsome Japanese men who all work at various cell phone carriers, and they're comedic, or they could just be handsome representations of the various characters of the various cell phone carriers, and they could be like the suave one that's expensive, and the cheap one that's kind of crazy, and the stingy one. Be like a Japanese boy band, and it would be extremely popular. This is $1 million idea. No one who is listening to this take
And you're
this.
you're just
I'm
giving it away.
developing this. I'm developing this into a 3-season anime.
Too late.
Minimum.
Hmm.
Two, so here's the thing: is all cell phone carriers are shitty places to work. I know because I work at one, and I'm not going to tell you that Verizon is a better experience, but I guess in your particular instance, Verizon would have been a much better experience because it would have been a lot less expensive, and you would have gotten more and better phones for less.
Mm-hmm.
But the good thing about working at Verizon is we already have the reputation for being the most expensive. So I don't have to basically boil down or lie to anyone about anything. Like, this is the price, here it is, and this is why you're paying it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still less expensive. I set up 2 customers with almost the exact same setup you have, but with S21s, and even with our best plan, they were paying like $170. So I don't know where Sprint or T-Mobile is getting the math on your bill. I don't know what's going on, because I guess they have their reputation for being less expensive.
Yeah. So just for detail purposes, I'm actually on Verizon's website right now doing a comparison. I need unlimited everything because of my work, and I want a relatively inexpensive phone, but I want it to be a good one, and I'm not in the iPhone market, so usually that.
Here, I can help you. Hello, Mr. Adam. This is Dia. This is Dia at Verizon Sales. How can I help?
I want unlimited everything, S21 5Gs, and I don't want to pay more than $180.
Okay, here what I can do. I can give you 10 gigabytes of data per phone, and I have a A42 by Samsung. $10 a month.
Yeah, I'm
Sound
actually
good?
looking at that. I'm looking at the A42 right now.
No, don't buy. Not good.
I'm joking.
You want Honda Accord or Smart Fortwo?
I want a fucking Porsche. I
Yeah.
wanted to wash my dishes and
I would
Cuddle
say
me
if
to
you guys
sleep
have
at night.
S9s right now, the best deal that you're going to get out of Verizon is they have an $800 trade-in per phone towards the new Samsung devices, which your phones would qualify for. So if you wanted S21s, they're $800. If you traded your S9s towards them, that would cover the cost of the S21s. So then all you're doing basically is paying for the plan, if you guys went on 2 medium plans on unlimited, you did auto pay. It's basically 70 or 80 a line, so 140 plus tax.
Mm-hmm.
If you factor in the trade-ins, which is a lot better than what you guys are paying right now. You don't get Hulu. You don't. Well, actually, that's not true. If you don't care about the commercials, we have that Disney bundle. So you would, with any of our
Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN.
Yeah, get that included as part of your plan. So basically,
This week's episode sponsored by Verizon.
That would
don't say
cover
that
it.
because I fucking hate Verizon. The only reason I like them is they sign my fucking paychecks. But yeah, I mean, on an objective level, it's cheaper and probably better service than what you have now. Something to I'd consider it.
Yeah, I'll look into it. And
if you do it, I could help you after this
appreciate
podcast is over. I get you. I could mail you some phones. I could mail you some phones. So
that's it.
That's all I'm saying.
That sounds fun. And if you can get more hype, then I'm all for it.
All right. Okay.
And speaking of the end of the podcast, I have one last thing that I had to end off with. Last night, I was fresh off of this last night, and I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this last night. So we were playing Jackbox games. You guys ever played those Jackbox party packs?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
We were playing Jackbox number 2 with Quiplash.
Oh, wait.
And
Can you clarify
so
who was playing?
it was the 4 of us. I have 2 children, age 10, and then myself and my wife. We're 38 and 39.
I forget that they're twins sometimes.
Right? Boy-girl twins. They look completely different ages, completely different people.
They do.
So we're all playing Jackbox. We're all playing Quiplash. It is myself versus my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And the question that we both answered was, who would be an awful choice to narrate 50 Shades of Grey? I'm thinking, man, I got this one in the bag. I got it. I just picked SpongeBob. SpongeBob. It's got to be SpongeBob, man. You figure SpongeBob narrating 50 Shades of Grey, and then I got spanked. Yeah, that'd be a perfect awful choice. I can't do Gilbert Gottfried. Nobody knows who that guy is.
Bob Goldthwait.
Or Bobcat Goldthwait. Yeah, so it had to be something recognizable, right? It was myself versus my daughter. And SpongeBob didn't win, for what it's worth. SpongeBob got completely voted out. And it was...
What?
It was... Anyways, it was...
What?
It was... Wait, what? Hell yeah! I said, give me a hell yeah!
I'm gonna have to not include that clip in the audio because it's gonna get WWE'd. Oh my god!
So weirdly, all the wood, dark walls, moody lightning, and ox-plug leather makes the room kind of soft and romantic. I know it's anything but. This is Christian's version of soft and romantic. Then I kicked that sumbitch in the gut and gave him a Stone Cold Stunner, and that's the bottom line, 'cause Stone Cold said so.
Cutting
And that shit happened.
Cutting a promo with Christian Grey. Oh my god!
And that happened. And you're gonna hit me where?
What?
In the butt?
What?
In the rump?
What?
In the buttocks?
What?
In the derriere? She whipped my ass. God. She whipped my ass with my own wrestling hero.
Your flesh and blood has ascended above you, my friend.
Leveled up. Just like that.
She has leveled up beyond your comprehension.
Hello.
Hi, guys. Uh-oh.
I gotta find the button again. Where's the button? Where's the button?
Oh, she slipped off.
Wow, what an asshole!
Did I premature that? My bad.
I'm staring right into the abyss right now.
Waft.
Off the
And now,
tuna.
if you hear that in the mic, that's her.
She had to center it.
She's stretching. She's stretching.
That will never not.
And she-
That will
Did you-
never ever get old.
See her tonsils from there? Jesus Christ!
Did you see straight down the barrel of the cat?
yeah.
Just a pin light at
A
the end
little
of the
pin
tunnel.
light. You can look at the solar eclipse through that thing. I hear.
Talk about raising people well. I fucking rescued you from the literal fucking pound. And you were born outside. You were born outside. You had worms inside you. And I have spent
She's done. Look.
I have spent thousands of dollars on you. Thousands of dollars. I spent $700 to get your teeth cleaned.
Did you get
And
a
this
good
is
look
what-
at that chocolate starfish?
What? This is how she
I
fucking
said, did you get a
repays
good
me?
look at that sphincter?
What?
I said, did you get a good look at that asshole?
What? We're gonna have to sell a lot of phones for me to forget about that. That is.
Whew.
Oh gosh. Hey, I don't know if that's going to get copyright struck or not. We'll see. I'll put the raw up on YouTube, and if it doesn't flag there, we're golden.
Well, I mean, hopefully the algorithm only looks a certain.
There you
I
go.
guess the real question is if they flag it, will they send him to your house to tell you, dressed in the Comcast uniform?
Oh, God.
You said you owe me $88. I owe you $88. What?
Oh, jeez.
Comcast, gonna hire us. Gonna
Oh,
host
my
Steve
gosh.
Austin fight Steve. God.
That's the bottom line. Oh man. And that's it, y'all. That is another podcast in the books. We appreciate everybody coming out this evening. We look forward to seeing y'all again next Friday.
Yeah.
Next
Let's shoot
Friday?
for Friday.
Awesome. We're shooting for
I'm
next
actually-
Friday.
I'm scheduled to get my third COVID vaccination on Friday. So
Is that the extended 5G with the extra network performance, or is that straight 6G now?
that's the one that's going to protect me from these fucking asshole shots. Ashi.
What an asshole! Thanks, everybody.